It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with a taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking go.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Monday. You know what that means. It's motivation time. And it's me and this guy over here on the other side. That guy over there, that guy. You know what I'm saying. It's me, the one and only Amir A-Rock Sealy, and the man who goes by one name and one name only, Talent. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you. But that's just us doing what we're doing and, making it do what it do. We took off last week, but that wasn't intentional. This man is moving all around the country. He's got, things moving and shaking. And, me, myself as well, we both got things that are happening. So we've been doing everything we can, obviously, to keep this train rolling and to keep you guys.
Well, hold on. I'm a snitch. Let's tell her what really happened. Our producer, Prophet P. I think Prophet P got tied up with 2 hookers on Hunts Point, and we didn't get the link to 604. So we were out, assumed it was not happening. But just to be clear, I'm a snitch. Prophet P solicits pussy any chance to get. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we did get the what you call it late. By that point, me and T were already off, doing other things. So we apologize for missing you guys last week, but we back this week as we always are, and we doing what we do best, which is bringing y'all some sunshine, especially for those of y'all who were on the East Coast the last 2 days, especially here in New York. Y'all know it rained 2 days and 2 nights. Like we was in Noah's Ark. We was like, all right, come on, son. We need some sun somewhere here. What is going on? This is for the birds. I thought we was in Seattle for a minute. I was like, this is terrible.
You know what I realized, bro, with the rain that you bring that up? I realized I have this leak, right? And not inside the house, but inside the house, like the front room or whatever. And, it's been there like forever, but it never really bothers me because either I'm not here, or I'm not here, it don't rain long enough, whatever the case may be. But like you said, these 2 days were heavy. So I found myself for the first time doing like we were old school, grab a couple little buckets, little pots or whatever. I found myself doing that shit and I'm dumping the shit. And I'm like, yo, there's a lot of rain, bro. Like, and this, it ain't no heavy leak or nothing. It's like drip. But over time, you'll be fucking surprised how this shit pans out. No pun intended.
No question. So with that having been said, we got some sun today, so we're doing a little bit better here in NYC. But more so than anything, me and this man always kick it off by finding out how each other's weekend went. I'm gonna go first. Like I said, it was just a real dreary weekend here in NYC, so I didn't do nothing but stay home and just kind of play the crib or play close to it and whatnot and enjoy that. It was nice, just some time to be quiet, catch up on some stuff, throw out some stuff, go through things. We making that transition from the cooler weather to the warmer weather. So for anybody and for everybody, please do yourself a favor, get rid of some of that old stuff because it's probably harboring negative energy or bad energy based off of, when you might have brought it into your circumstances. Get rid of it. It's a new month. Today's May 1st. We're in a new month. Spring is here. So let's be springy. Let's get into the energy. Let's get into the energy. Let's get right. So, I just encourage everybody to, do what you can to, turn up your energy, feel great about the sun being out a little bit longer. Take those walks, get your, walks in the sun so you can get that vitamin D in your system. It's imperative. And more importantly, do your purging. It's time to purge again. So you do your purging, you get rid of old stuff that you're not necessarily using anymore. Put your new stuff into play. Let's get it. It's that time of year.
Hey man, I'm not hating on you, brothers. I took the opportunity for Saturday and not so much on Sunday. Sunday, we had the early Knick game, so I had to get up, get the day started early. Which here's the thing about a social drinker: start early, your ass going down early. So started watching the game, having lunch with a couple of beers at 1 o'clock. Man, listen, they lucky it was a second game, so I forced myself to go, to the bar at that point. We leave the restaurant, go to catch the second game, which Golden State won. Thank God I had a loss and a win that day. And bro, I was asleep by 9 o'clock. Like, I was under the covers, grabbed the dogs early. Come on, y'all, lay down. We laid down early. And all the dogs were discombobulated because of the time frame. So they're going to the room, kept hitting on the door, like, open this motherfucker. It ain't my bedtime. They smart. They smart like that. He knew it was too early. But that was great. But Friday night, we had a show. I had to host a show. Shout out to my people at the City of Peekskill, New York, and the people over there at the theater out there. We did a show. There's an annual show this young brother does. Actually, former mayor of the town. They call him Noodles. His name is Andre Rainey. Andre Rainey did this thing called Inspire to Change the World. And it's a concert, benefit concert through the arts, to bring everybody together. And it was, you had a very mixed crowd out there, old, young, everything from 5 years old, maybe even younger, up to 75 years old. Everybody was in the theater, and it was a really nice situation. Nice. So I had to host that. Aldo had to open it up, so we went up there together again. The rain had started, you know what I mean? So it was Friday night. The rain had kicked in already. But we got that done. We got done, 11 something at night or whatever. It's an hour ride back home, and he dropped me off, caught up with the family for a minute just to throw a couple back, nightcap, and take it down. Because like I said, the rest of the week was going to be rain, so I had to get rain-proofed around this house and ready dogs and all that good shit. So a good joint. Nevertheless, we got a co-host, our third guest co-host. I'm gonna have time to time just because his energy's so dope. Sean Harvey, what up, player?
What's going on, Sean? How's everything, brother? Man? Good to see you. Yes,
hey,
sir.
Thanks for joining. You're looking good in that LL Cool J red.
You already know, man. It's the red and the right trim, the whole trim thing. I'm good right now. We're straight.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, man. Welcome to Motivation Monday. Welcome back. This is your living room. Like I told you, more than welcome. That's why anytime, when we doing it, brother, feel free to come on board and have a good time with us. So kicking things off, I'm going to set it off like this. I did a little pre-show this morning. I don't know if y'all seen me on live. I did a little pre-thing to tell people, motivation-wise, one of the things we can do to better ourselves is understanding, meaning this. We all understand the one dimension of us, but we don't understand that there's more than one dimension of us. People always get caught in one dimension, and we're more than one thing. So what happens is I'm finding that people, because they're not doing their due diligence to go out to expound from that one dimension, they find themselves getting in trouble. We watched last week 2 of the top news names from across the street from each other, from CNN to Fox. We watched both brothers been let go. And basically, even though it was 2 different things they were talking about, they both wasn't paying attention to the climate that they were in. To me, Tucker Carlson was just so busy trying to do Trump and the Republicans bidding, he's not understanding what him and that station becomes liable. So it ended up at the end of the day by, assassinating the character of the company that had the electronic voting machines. You fucking with their character, which in ultimate you fucking with the bottom line and their profit sharing. So when you talk dirt there's been over a year, going on 2 years of fake election, the machines. These motherfuckers got a case, and they go, yo, we got to sue you, motherfuckers. Ain't nothing wrong with these machines, but we can't sell them to this nation or this city or this state. We're in business to sell these machines, and they're not fraudulent. But y'all keep putting that out there like that. We're gonna show and prove and sue you, and they won to the tune of $787 million. Now when you get into those numbers, nigga, you just shy of $1 billion.
Facts.
You right there at 80, which is 20 from $1 billion. So you as a single individual pushed this so much. The company looked at you and said, yo, this motherfucker cost us $1 billion. You got to go. If he paid attention to the climate, I don't think he would have pushed that agenda so far, given all the different climate stuff going on. Same thing with Don Lemon. This motherfucker, like we ain't in a female revolution. This motherfucker gonna go on record, and the lady running for president, the Haley lady, gonna call her out of her name and age and go, she's past her prime. Everybody know When a bitch get this high, they pass it. I was like, whoa, fam, you can't
Wasn't
do that. This is the new era. This is the new climate. More importantly, this is the year of the new woman. This
facts.
woman here is not saying, I want to be barefoot and pregnant. I want to sit home. They saying, nah, I'm in the workplace. Nigga, pay me right. Give me my shit right like you gave him, because I'm smarter than him. And you gave that nigga 80, I want it. Give him 200, I want 200. I want the benefits. I want everything you're giving him. So him not knowing, paying attention, number two, boom, X'd out, same time frame and everything. We got to pay attention to that other dimension. I said this morning. There's your world and there's the world. Let's be clear. It's your world. That's what we work hard to create. Sean, when you go home, and Mir, when you go home, that house should resemble something of what you put together, what you like. You work hard to put those things, whether it's the art on the wall, whether it's the new appliances in the kitchen, whether it's the bathroom decor or your bedroom, whatever, a big screen TV. You work hard to put those things in place so that when you come home, that's your world. You see what I'm saying? Now you're in your world. But to do that, you had to navigate through the world. My mother used to say, do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do what you want to do if you didn't go do what you got to do. Meaning, I know what she meant. Not at the time. I mean, I know later. At the time, I said, my mother's fucking crazy. What the fuck does that mean?
Right.
As an adult, I'm like, oh, you know, the harder you work, the harder you're able to play. So those are two worlds that are, one is by default. But you got to learn it, though. You got to do your due diligence. Know the climate going on in the outside world. Blah, blah, blah. What I can't do. What's frowned upon. What's illegal. What's legal. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Once I do that, I know how to navigate when I leave out this door and go into their situation. I know how to navigate and conduct myself. But guess what? I do all that so when I come back to my world, I'm at peace with these three fucking critters, these four motherfuckers running around here, fucking shit up. And I'm happy they fucking, that's how you know you're in a peaceful place. These dogs be fucking shit up. And I'd be happy to be home to witness them fucking
doing
shit.
stuff. No question.
Well,
go ahead, Sean.
Well, first of all, thank you for clearing up a lot and putting things in perspective. And before I start, I want to say, once again, salute to Amir Sealy, purple tie, that's purple bow tie, which is in the Motivational Monday Hall of Fame. Secondly, I kind of do agree with Don Lemon. My second baby mother definitely passed her prime. Now, this is the deal. Boy, you touched on a lot. Pause. But we now live in we live in a polarized society. People don't have feelings for other people anymore via the internet and social media. And I say that to say, yes, Tucker Carlson, who was in his own zone, not knowing that he was damaging the reputation of a voting company, right, that can't get any work. But not only that, there's a second company that's suing Fox for $2 billion. So check this out. The whole Fox commentating crew has wiped out Fox News profits for last year. They made a couple of billion. That's gone. Yeah. But my whole thing is, it seems like we, as a society online, we don't have feelings for each other no more. Tucker Carlson has no feelings for anybody but himself. Even when they warned him to stop, and even when the Dominion Voting Company had all the proof in the world that none of this was fraudulent, he still couldn't pump the brakes and stop and go, you know what? My fault. All this was wrong. Dominion was right. They proved it. There was no voter fraud. And even when he found that out, he still couldn't stop. And this is the problem right now. Polarization and narcissism and the me, and I'm not talking about the Me Too movement, the me, instant gratification of what they call now the alternate reality. You just said it. The world is the real world, and then there's another world. And that's the problem here. Now, Don Lemon, and I'm going to yield my time, Don Lemon can't work. You know when they on the job application, when it said, can you work well with others? Don Lemon can't work well with anybody. But to say the things that he said, and the thing, and then he's abusing 2 white women on the show.
Right.
You can't scream on Babylonian corporate white women on TV and they start crying and you think you're going to keep your job. I call it the Luthelius syndrome. Now, who's
Right.
Luthelius? That's T.J. Holmes. That's his real name.
Hilarious.
T.J. Holmes. You can't have sex with white women in corporate America and the white man won't pay you. It's never going to happen. So that's
let
problem.
me say this. First of all, the lady would take offense to you calling her white because she claims that she's whatever percentage Native American or whatever. But here's my real point.
My fault.
The reason why I disagree with the prime thing is because the bitch is running for office. What is the prime in running for office? We got a nigga there 112 right now.
Now.
What is her being past her prime if she's running? Now, Don, the reason you know Don's a gay man because a straight man would have never said that. The only way you said one past her prime, you're looking at her that way. But since you're not attracted to women and you're gay, have a husband or whatever, you would say something like, oh, women in 50 past their prime. That's because you're not into women.
Right.
If you're into women, every man, every heterosexual, goddamn well, that's an incorrect statement. Past the prime.
First of all,
who looks at a woman that hit a certain number and say, I'm not fucking?
Not to mention, to your point, when you in your 50s, if it's done right, you aging like fine wine. So you're not even, nobody's even looking at you like, oh my God, because now you enter a stage of sexiness that doesn't only have to do with looks. You enter a stage of sexiness from the way you carry yourself. You enter a stage of sexiness just from the way you dress. Like all these other things come into factor now. So you hit the nail on the head when you said, Don Lemon was out of control for, his assessment of the situation. The Fox News team, first of all, they've been off the chain since the pandemic started. That whole team went super left the entire pandemic. We were watching, if you were checking out their news story, every 30 seconds, they were telling you to go run, get a shot. You're like, look, guys, I'm gonna need y'all to calm down with the shots. I'm gonna need y'all to calm down with the whole, it's the pandemic and everybody and people are dying and thousands. And you're like, calm down. As Talon would say, settle down.
Settle down.
Everybody to settle down. So, you look at it now and, you fast forward, like you said, to where we are now. And Sean Harvey is absolutely right. We are now in such a cancel situation, generally speaking, because I think it's hard to cancel anybody, honestly, because now everybody's got an opportunity to do, be on some sort of social media platform and say whatever they think makes sense and will rile up the crowds. We no longer are taking a moment to, hold on, let me think about this. Let me preface, or let me at least put this in a way that doesn't, necessarily offend anybody, but at least, puts the ideology out here that maybe this is something we need to look at or a specific way we need to look at it. And that's not being done now. Now everything is your fault or her fault or his fault or their fault or whatever. Because, these pronouns, I can't keep up with them. They all over the place these days. I'm like, come on, y'all. They, them, it. For sometimes I think we speak in Shakespeare. Thus, thou, thither. No, nobody got time for that. Come on, y'all got to stop. Let's get back to the regular stuff that we know. But you take all of that into consideration and the way we are now, and you just like to believe that if we don't do anything else, let's get away from pointing fingers. Let's look for solutions. Let's become solution-based, meaning the way that we respond to situations, have some solutions. Let's not just stand around all day and every day and we just, what? It's your fault. You put me in this position and you did this to me and you did that to me. No, you did it to yourself. A lot of y'all don't want to take ownership and take, sense of yourselves. And, I say this all the time. There's nobody more responsible for your well-being or lack thereof than you. Nobody. Some of y'all want to, it's it's my father's fault. It's my mother's fault. No, it's not. They did whatever they could do to the best of their ability during that time. I've had, to y'all's same points, I've had so many conversations in the last 48 hours with people who are like, well, because my dad or because my mom. And I go, well, I want you to just think about this for a second. Your dad or your mom was trying to raise you at the same age you are now, and they had to take care of you and take care of your mom, and maybe if you had siblings, you as an adult right now can't take care of yourself. So I want you to let that rattle around in your head for a while. Oh shoot, I know you didn't think about that. So cut it out. Stop blaming people. Take ownership. If you're gonna get your life together, get it together. This is the time to do it. You can't wait until, well, I got tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. There's only right now.
And you know what, guys? I think it was like with the $700 million settlement. I think it was also a wake up call for the conspiracy theorists. You just can't go blurting information that's not true or factual, or at least get some of it right. That's why it's also, I put it in a sports analogy. It's truth versus lies. It's a 7-game series. Lies are up. Lies are up. 2 games to nothing. They're going back home to truth. Truth has been under attack, especially in the last 6 or 7 years. What are we at a point now where we just make up our own truths, knowing that the facts are right in front of our face? Is this where we're at now in our society?
Well, our society got exposed, bro. Here's what happened. With social media and the internet being at an all-time high, all that happened was we got exposed to how unbright we are as a group. We're so unbright real talk. We're so unbright as a group that if someone comes and put in your inbox a video of someone supposedly speaking a fact, but it happens to be a topic that you're ignorant to and you're not privy to whether it's true or false, automatically the human brain, us in this country, believe it is fact. All the motherfucker got to do is present it the right way and have some pictures and some dates and some numbers and God forbid a fucking dashiki or a bow tie on or something and be like, yeah, 1847, and say it the right way. You walk away like, damn, I didn't know that shit. Right? You don't fucking know if that's even a fact. But you will close your app and go, God, I just learned some deep shit. That nigga could have made all that shit up.
Right.
We've been on stage, Sean, and make some shit up, but spill it like it's real and watch niggas' faces go, oh, no, I'm just fucking. Because we're comedian, we'll come in with the end with the disclaimer. But to Amir's back with the pronouns and the gay movement and all that shit, the 2 funniest things I've seen in this fucking week already. 2 memes. One meme said the bitch is driving, there's a video, she's just driving all comfortable in the car, sun shining, and the sentence or paragraph says, my boss just called me and said, yo, fuck you been at? I ain't seen you around all week. And she said, oh, I was there. I just identified as transparent. My pronoun on who and where.
Yeah.
First of all, that shit was funny as a motherfucker, man. So then I put that in my story. People laughing, enjoying it. Then this dude is in a podcast interview. It's the guy, and it's like fucking 5 women in there, whatever. And the guy just said, read a question. Somebody asked him. He said, somebody just asked me if I was pressed and had a choice, would I fuck the most gorgeous transgender, or would I fuck the oldest bitch on earth? If I had to do one. He said, I'm fucking the oldest bitch, just for the simple fact that this way I'm not gay, because I'm not gay, right? Fucking the girls got offended. Oh, that's some fucking transphobic. He said, how? He said, if I fuck the tranny, I'm fucking technically a biologically born man, makes me gay to me. He said, I don't want to do that. So I'd rather fuck the old lady and stay in my heterosexual. Like the women walked out the fucking thing, bro. They was fucking offended, called them homophobic and all that. And he kept saying, I don't understand why you're thinking I'm transphobic, because here's my thing. You have a choice like I have a choice. Why does my choice gets bashed on if it goes against your choice?
Yes.
It's my choice. I don't have to fall in line with you and your choice. That's what us being individuals are in the first place. Like, individuality is a thing. It's a real thing. Right. What you shit don't make me eat. And what I eat don't make you shit.
Right. Yeah. Listen, Listen, there's somebody out there right now, for an example, like just back to sports, like LeBron James just recently broke the scoring record from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right?
Right.
Facts. This is facts. But there's somebody out there that go, yo, did he really break the record, son? Those are the people that I'm talking about. I hate you. Yo, did he? But
You
LeBron
always
got
gonna have those people. Look, okay, look at, we talk about being divided. Look, here's my thing. I've never looked at a Republican sideways until you got these what I call extreme IMI niggas. You assault my intelligence.
Yeah.
When you assault my intelligence, yeah, then I got something to say. Like, I don't care about your ideology and the laws you believe in. You pro-life. I'm for abortion. I don't care about all that shit. That goes back to what I just said about our opinions and thoughts and don't have to align with individuals. Now, where I got a problem is when you go that far. The Marjorie Taylor Greene bitch. She's going to come out after the school shootings and start pushing the agenda. Now, this to me is worse than the fucking voting machines. You keep putting for over a year, you pushing an agenda that these people that got shot didn't get shot. Like somehow all these families got together and are saying their kids are dead just to say they dead or whatever. Like shit like that, bro, is real. You really got to come with some fucking proof to push. Now you're going too far.
Thank you.
If these people lost their fucking families like that, man, ain't nothing worse than your kid died before you. Everybody know that. It's not supposed to be. It happens sometime, and it's a fucking extra dagger to your fucking emotional heart and blood vein and vessels. So when people go that far, oh, that shit ain't happening. They fronting. Their kids ain't dead. Da da da. That fucking skeevies go up my skin, make my skin crawl. That's when I jump out there and say, see, now you're going too fucking far. Now you're going too far. I know you're a Republican, but I know this shit ain't part of the playbook.
And you know, to your point, and to that point in particular, that's really again what we're up against now. There is this, I don't know, it's hard to, like you said, put in the words, this space that people are in now where they go, let me go as extreme as I can go. And again, there'd be no repercussions for the extremeness. You'd be like, wait a minute. Again, between the three of us, we come from an era where extreme will get you punched in the mouth.
Right.
Like on the spot.
No,
we're going to walk away and talk about this later. You're getting punched in the mouth right now.
Right now.
We're going to square this away because what are you doing? What are you talking about? And I think that, you know, like you said, whether it's the Republicans, even sometimes Democratic stuff, like, you know, obviously we've been, you know, trying to, walk the thin line because everybody's like, well, like you said, you either one or the other. And I'm like, you're neither of them. I said, if you be clear and be fair about both sides have been absolutely horrible to the public at large. And if you think I'm lying, let's just throw out some information that people think is false information. Ronald Reagan and Reaganomics, till this day, is still screwing up our country. President Clinton, as much as we loved him playing the sax, this, that, the third, 90% of the people who are in jail or who are uncles, fathers, and all that stuff is because of laws that the Clintons passed back when that nigga was a governor. Go do your due diligence, look it up. See, the problem is nobody wants to uncover or pull the Band-Aid off and see how really bad the wound is. Everybody's like, no, you know, it wasn't that bad. No, it's bad. It's bad. And the rippling effect of it is really where we fall behind the eight ball, especially people of color, because other groups of people think in 5 to 10 year spans. We think in moment to moment. I'm just glad I got through the day. My nigga, there's going to be a tomorrow, and there's going to be a day after that and a day after that. So we got to do a better job of starting to think in bigger spaces, in bigger time continuums. So not only do you need a 5-year plan, you need a 10-year plan. Not only do you need a 10-year plan, you need a 15 and a 20 and so forth and so on. We are watching this world be taken or slipped under our feet because we refuse to have these kind of conversations. Everything to us is, well, you know, it's just the little things. I want to be excited about, Steph Curry and 50 last night. I'm excited about Steph Curry and 50, but Steph is okay. He's not having any issues. And if he didn't score 50 last night, he was going to be okay. Right. That's just the reality of it all. But nobody wants to be, like I said, honest about that. So we sitting around arguing about things that in theory don't really serve us in any way, shape, or form. Meanwhile, the government is just decided that Fed Now, which is, supposedly the new way that, you're going to pay your bills or, use currency, get rid of Zelle, get rid of Cash App and all this. Wait a minute. Nobody said that we was down for all of that. Y'all see the information. They said that the dude who came up with Cash App, he got stabbed in an affluent neighborhood, and that didn't seem weird to not one person. Come on, y'all. Some of the stuff is blatant, like you said, Sean. It's in your face. It's not as I've said on several occasions. How could it be a conspiracy when you can prove it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's still a conspiracy. How you can prove it? T, you remember when 2 years ago, me and T were some of the first. Sean, you were a part of this too. We were some of the first to go, yo, this shot thing is a little suspect. I just want y'all to be aware. Now y'all see person after person coming out talking about, okay, well, we did lie, and some of what we said wasn't all the truth. We said that 2 years ago, and y'all were, y'all. I'm like, come on, guys. Some stuff is just blatant and in your face. I just asked it, as I always, and Sean knows this because I said it on his show first. Do your due diligence. Get back to critical thinking. Y'all used to be in grade school, and the first thing the teacher said, hey, today we're going to need the class to put on your critical thinking hats. Go back to that. Stop just taking everything at face value because the masses said it. Who cares? These niggas is idiots. You following idiots into what you call oblivion and then be trying to figure out how'd you get there. You following these idiots. Question their stuff. Ask yourself, does this all add up? There could be parts of it that does, and you're like, okay, that kind of makes sense, but this part over here doesn't make any sense. Then you need to look into that. Don't just, I'm just let it go. Letting it go is let us all down to what you call it. When they, we say it as a running joke. Hey, look, we got this boat and it's a boat ride. Y'all come on. Everybody get on. We're going to be all right. Niggas didn't read the fine print. Wait a minute. Wait, where are we going? Who all going to be there when we get there?
You know what's dope? What's dope? And Motivational Monday is rocking right now. Amir Sealy says something that's so simple, but I think it's really complicated. He goes, do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Do your due diligence. I mean, it's something very simple, but it's so complicated for the masses. This is something that we need to do is take time out and do your research, do your due diligence, and you might come out at the end of the conversation learning something. And T, back to what you talk about Marjorie, the congresswoman. It's the same thing with the dude, the podcaster, what's his name?
Joe Rogan?
No. Alex Smith. No, Alex Jones. He was the one who said that Sandy Hook never happened.
Yeah.
That all these kids was all the fake deaths, and they found him liable and they sued him for millions of dollars.
But here's my thing, Sean. He's a podcaster. These niggas can do what the fuck they want because it's up to you to, like he said, do your due diligence to figure out truth or false. But for one of our elected officials in this government to run and go spew and piggyback on it, that's why I got to draw the line because, bitch, you work for me. Right. In the essence, you work for me. That guy don't work for me. That guy's a freelancer. He can come on and talk about aliens every Tuesday if he wants. That's his prerogative. You as a person working for the people who are held accountable for what directs our dollars and taxpayers' money and things like that. That's a different criteria I got to hold you to. But anyway, I want to get off this because we done gave it too much energy. We gave it 33 minutes, half the damn show. Let's get on some positive things. Now, I'm going to kick it off first. What's motivating me right now, and Sean knows because we done spoke off air several times. Look at my shirt. This is a hybrid shirt of my Jets and my Knicks. It's a hybrid joint right here. Two logos combined together. You see that? My two teams right now made me to put an extra zest in my step. I'm back on some different shit. So now, sometimes you could be in a place where this one or two things make you super happy and motivated, right? But then when you're around something else, you go bland. You flatline or go bland or whatever. So for a while, all Knick fans and Jet fans know that was us. We've been bland for a minute. And then all of a sudden, Jets put together this fucking team last year, come out, and you start to breathe and say, wait a minute, what's going on over here? Synopsis at the end of the season, the defense was so fucking good on one side of the ball. We like, yo, all we gotta do is add water. We got powdered milk. You understand me? And we have added the water. We have added fucking high-end water, to be honest with you. Some of the best water the league got to offer. So I'm flying in high on Jets, but more importantly, right now in the thick of things, the playoffs is going on. The Knicks are in the second round. They beat the team from round one, only gave up one joint. Boom, finish these guys out. We're in the second round of the playoffs. Now, we started off with one of our top scorers, if not the best player on the team, with a sprained ankle, residual sprained ankle. You had to sit out the first game. So I'm still proud of my team because we lost by 7 in the end. And without your star player, and they had their star, and we didn't have our star, and it was still a tight game the whole damn game. So that gives a good sign if you're a New York fan. So I'm finding my sports, like to everybody else. I'm going to go around and everybody going to tell us what, makes them happy and what's dope with them. But for me, it's the sports. And speaking of the sports, when we come on next Monday, I'll have a full review of the George Foreman movie, which I'm planning to go see in the next 48 hours. And give everybody a think. I seen The Air, the Michael Jordan story of the decision of the sneaker Air. I recommend it for everybody. Very motivational. What I took from that is how a moment in your life, a moment in time in your life, each of us, our lives are stories, believe it or not. I know some people think themselves as insignificant. Oh, I'm just little old me. I'm regular. Nah, motherfucker. You a story or several stories. And that's the thing about Air. The excitement of what it went and what it, took for it to happen and transpired the way it did, because it wasn't supposed to, was amazing. So go see Air. And when we come back next month, I'll have the thing on George Foreman as well. But what's motivating you right now, Amir? What are you pointing at? What are you gravitating towards right now? 2023, we're coming up on halfway in this joint. It's Taurus season. That's motivating me too. Well, what is motivating brother Amir?
You know what's so funny? Like today, it's funny because when you sent me the link, I was like, wow, okay, we hadn't done Motivational Monday in, like I said, 2 weeks. And I just started thinking back over last month and into this month. And what's been motivating me is seeing the shift in people in general, who the light is going on, and they're starting to realize that no matter what they've been doing with their lives, there is, like you said, another level or a new space to go into.
Right.
And to see people moving to those spaces, whatever it looks like for them, is, absolutely incredible to me. Because what I think is now I see people starting to say that, okay, I got a 9 to 5 or whatever it is, but they're starting to discover their talents and utilize their talents in ways that are motivating to others, because it allows them to, just be like, okay, to your point, my story, I can tell my story now. And I think that, platforms such as this, Sean Harvey's morning show, there's a few other people, who I follow. I think all of those spaces now are giving people that kind of, oh my God, I do have a story to tell, because when I get on here and I, say whatever I've said about, what has happened in my life, people seem to gravitate to it, or at least they, find some commonality in it. And because of that, I'm like, I feel a little bit better about myself. I feel a little bit stronger. I feel a little bit, my posture is getting a little better. And I think that has been the most gratifying and wonderful thing that I've seen in the last few months, is watching people awaken to their own greatness and then starting to, share it, regardless of what it is. If you're a baker, you're out here making the greatest, cookies and cakes in the world. If you're a singer, you're finding time to maybe get on and do a TikTok where you actually sing and show people, showcase people how well you sing and things of that magnitude. And I believe that what we're going to see in the next, 6 months to a year is all of these wonderful people who have been friends of ours and have been, people who we've just, shared different things with, but now we'll see them starting to step into the light and be seen and be heard and help turn that light on in others. So I think that that's the dopest thing to me that's going on right now. And I'm really inspired by that personally. You know what I mean?
Yo.
Sean Harvey, your turn, baby. What's motivating the emperor of morning shows, Sean Harvey? What you gravitating to?
You know what? Right now, Amir still is motivating me. I tell you that much. But
good to know.
But you know what? You're right. Just before I get into that, I just want to say this. Back to the New York Jet scenario and back to the football. real quick. Now, for me, I'm really a New York Jets fan. No disrespect to the New York Giants and all the others. I mean, I do rock New York. If the Giants are playing and they the world, if the Giants win the Super Bowl and they was playing the Chargers, obviously I'm going for the Giants. But I'm a Jets fan, straight up, straight green. I'm a Knick fan, straight blue and orange. I'm a Yankee fan, and even last year, last football season, the games were exciting. Sundays became exciting to be a Jet fan last year. If we finished 7-10 or 7-9, 8-9, I can't remember our record, but it became very exciting. And our defense rocked the whole football year. No one got hurt. And you're right. We was just looking for that missing piece offensively. And when Aaron Rodgers became a Jet the other day, I actually called you, T. I said, yo, Aaron's with us. I said, yeah, when you been? And I'm like, wait a minute. I look online. I see him with the number 8 jersey. And that just took being a fan and a supporter to the Jets a whole nother level. And one more thing about motivation. Julius Randolph, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I know he didn't play, but that man was doing his layups before the game. He was taking some shots. He really did try his best to play. He tried his best to play, but he couldn't. And I saw him at the pregame show doing layups and taking drills, but he just couldn't do it. So that's also a motivating situation for me. But you know what's really motivating me right now? I completed a difficult task here in the house. I did something with my carpet, and there was a repair that had to be done to my carpet, and I didn't call the dude, and I researched it, and it was something difficult, and I completed the task. I'm not a handyman, bro. Yo, my wife is more of a man in this house than I am. But I completed something, and I was like, I did that.
Don't that make you feel good though? Like when you're not a handyman and you do anything, it's a fucking triumph, ain't it? Yo, that was me every Christmas when my kids were little. Like, I'm not a handyman. So if this shit ain't coming together, I'm like, fuck. Now I'm in the middle of the fucking floor, my long johns with a screwdriver and 2 AA batteries. I put this shit together. So every time I achieved that shit, bro, I was like, yes. Because nigga, I'm not. Here's my thing. I had a plan way back in middle school. My plan was get out there, work hard, bust your ass, make enough money that anything you need done, you can pay to get done.
Yeah.
I'm some real shit. And people may think you got people, oh, you lazy, you selfish, this, that, you this, that. You'll call me whatever the fuck you want, but I'm more prone to keep the economy going with paying for everything than the motherfucker that ain't.
Right.
No, sometimes listen, true story. I got rid of my vehicles about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
I did the math, it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? Nigga, Uber and Lyft's at all-time high. It's very convenient for my mom to flip of the phone. You know what? I'm going to do that because it's better, right? So I'm doing that shit. So you know what I find myself, that to me that's so small but a big deal? I'll get off somewhere, like a train station or somewhere, an airport, and every now and then, if I got a little cash in my pocket, I take a cab. I'm keeping the fucking balance of the economy open. Now, I done did 10 Ubers in the last 2 days. I'm going, you know what? I'm going to get a real cab today. Right. Put some money in the cab nigga pocket. But that was my plan. It's not by accident. My plan was make sure you get well off, put yourself in position so that all those things that you didn't take auto mechanic in high school. You got cars, they're breaking down, you got hoopties. You wish you knew what you were looking at when you popped the hood. Okay, I'm gonna have money to get that shit fixed. All right.
Yeah, right.
Take this. Okay, there's enough money for the landscaper to get that shit fixed. Okay, you didn't take that. This nigga does sheetrocking. This how much this shit gonna cost. So at least I had that plan in mind. And everything. And like people, again, we're own individuals. Like I'm working on my documentary right now. Right. And I'm gonna be calling on both of you guys for appearances on there to speak your mind on certain things as well. And in this documentary, it's funny because the director, when we sat down first, chatted it up, the first thing he was like, "Oh, I'm such a big fan, and I want to tell the documentary and the story because I look at you, I'm like, YT ain't Kevin Hart or YT ain't Chris Rock." And I said, "Well, first of all, before you sign off to do this shit, you're gonna probably hate the answer.
Right.
When we're filming this shit, you're gonna get the answer. Probably ain't gonna be an answer you like because people don't understand. People look at us from the outside and they come up with their own pictures of what they think they want to see you doing or hopes or their idea of making it or whatever it is. But you got to understand, each individual got their own thing. Like I watched the thing of Steve Harvey the other day, and the funniest thing that stood out is in his mind, he had already separated when he started getting his foot in on things, the movies from TV. Right. He already made up in his mind, like, I'm built for TV. I want to do TV. Fuck movies. He was like, dude, I never read a script or read for a thing. When you see me in some sort of movies like Roscoe or some shit, I'm just ad-libbing in on who I am. He said, but that's not my thing. I know I'm a TV guy, right? So for me, I know I'm a stand-up guy. Right. You know what I mean? I'll do the sprinkle little things on the side because it behooves us financially and notoriety-wise, but my fucking legs are planted firmly and hard in this thing called stand-up. It's sort of like Michael Jackson and Prince. You get people all the time that argue about who's better. Prince played the thing. Yeah, well, Mike did this. Da, da, da. Prince followed a vision a little different than Mike. Not even a little, a lot different than Mike. We know of him because of his talent and his skills on what level they were, but he wasn't chasing the same blueprint as a Michael Jackson was. And that's okay to have the Michaels and the Princes and the James Browns and all different entities, all chasing or have a different blueprint or structure where they want to go with it. You know what I mean? As both you guys should as well. Let me give another recommendation. You want to be motivated? Watch the Tupac joint, Dear Mama. Okay. Dear Mama, I'll be honest with you. I went in, when I caught on to have some time to finally watch it, it was 2 episodes up. It comes on every week, but I'm thinking it's just a 2-part series, right? Because I see the 2 episodes. So let me knock these out and I watch them. Now, first of all, very motivating to a historian. People who like history, it's a super take on this. I've seen a lot of Tupac from the movies, documentaries. This comes from a totally separate angle because it's more the mom telling the story and the aunt and the Black Panthers and stuff like that. So it's coming from the historical part of it, and it's intertwining in what we lived through and what really happened. And kind of from the family, they're giving you his viewpoints on some things of how he felt. Like when he got shot and he thought it was puffy and big, and how that thing was all fabricated and blown out of proportion, and it wasn't him and all that. But they know now, in hindsight, learning what they learned with time. So I implore everybody to go see the Dear Mama thing on Hulu. It's really good, and it's very informative. And you're getting like 3 lessons each episode, as opposed to just about Tupac. You're getting that Black Panther thing. You're getting Afeni and the family, what they went through in the drug era and coming back from that, and his incarcerations and all his linkage and stuff. And it goes into depth. So it's really good. So if you want another motivating thing to watch, remember I said Air is a good movie. I'm going to see George Foreman, but Dear Mama is a series. I think they're 4 in now. They're 3 or 4 episodes in now. Click on that and watch that. So back to you, Amir. Let me ask you this question. How long, and I think, let me say this disclaimer first. I think we've all experienced a level, no matter how small or how big, we've all experienced a level of some sort of depression and or stress during the pandemic, especially the first year or 2. By year 3, we were kind of fluently, slowly getting back and outside and less mask and getting on planes and all that. But definitely, let's say that first year and a half, from the minute we start seeing it on the news to the lockdown to the slowly opening up thing. Do you have any indications during that time yourself, Amir, that you could honestly say, you know what, I felt a little depressed during this time, and this is how I know? Looking at it now, hindsight.
It's so funny. It's funny because I had that conversation with somebody today. And in the conversation, I was telling the person, I said, hey, we have, come to a space in a state where, like you said, we're trying to transition back into life. I honestly didn't have a moment where I was depressed, and I'll tell you why. I had prepared in my mind when we first, got locked down to the idea that first, obviously, it wasn't going to be that long, and then it turned into what it turned into. But because of you, and because of Sean Harvey, and because of Mike Sean, and certain other people, I had an opportunity to have an outlet, and I had an opportunity to talk, and I had an opportunity to share my points of views on things that I had seen to this point in life. And with that, for me, I was every day was a chance to celebrate and be excited. When you were doing IG After Dark, and we playing
Right.
the music, and everybody's rocking, and we having a good time, and the chat is live and all that stuff. And the fun thing about it is you got to remember too, during this time, because people weren't working, we could stay up till the wee hours of the morning. So you're up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning talking smack and being silly and all this stuff. And I just thought that it was dope. So for me personally, I didn't really have a moment during any of that. Now, was I saddened by losing friends and people that I care about? No question, as we all were. We lost, people who were near and dear to our hearts. So that, was a big hurdle to have to get over. But just to say depressed, I never got to that. Even to the point that when we got, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a point when nobody was outside. And my oldest brother had said this to me. He said, hey, man, I challenge you to go out and go into the city and just look at the city from the standpoint of people not being there and look at the beauty of it. So I would go out and start at 57th Street and walk all the way down to the village.
Oh,
and
nice.
if you would look, you can stand in the middle of the street and take pictures and look at the architecture and just really drink in our city in a way that you weren't able to do it prior to, the pandemic, because Fifth Avenue and places like that would always be overly crowded. And again,
Right.
you're happy to see that stuff coming back. The one time that I did become very saddened, I wasn't depressed, but I became saddened, was, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a point when they boarded up Macy's on 34th Street. Like they had boarded it up and made it look like it was almost abandoned. That messed with me only because my entire childhood was predicated on going to Bloomingdale's and going to Macy's as a kid, because that was, my mom's thing. She would take us downtown, myself, my younger brother, my brother Malik and my sister. And she'd be like, look, we're going downtown and, y'all don't touch anything, all the stuff that, your parents used to say back then. But I always thought it was cool because, you get in there, you see Macy's and you see Bloomingdale's, and the places look like a palace to you because you're a little kid. And then it'd be followed up by a trip to McDonald's or Burger King or something. And you'd be like, oh, we're going to get McDonald's on top of this too? Shit, this is the truth. So to see Macy's boarded up, it just threw me, because I was like, I was like, please tell me that Macy's isn't going away, because this has been everything to us, whether it was school shopping, whatever.
It threw you aback.
Yeah,
it threw you aback. But you can't point out any real depressed states. What about you, Sean Harvey? Any times?
No, I wasn't depressed for it. I was more fearful of it. I couldn't. I had to stop watching the Andrew Cuomo death count morning show. I had to stop doing that. The CNN death numbers, that was freaking me out. But it goes back to what you were saying, Amir. That's where the internet was good. That's what social media was good for me. All the shows that were on, and we were all connecting, and we were all chatting with each other because we couldn't go nowhere. I think that was the saving grace for me.
Right.
I was fearful of my moms and my aunties and all of them and everybody that, was affected with COVID. And so there was some folks that we all know that had passed away, and I was saddened for that and for their passing. But I wouldn't allow myself to get into any kind of weird space of, feeling sad or depressed, because I felt like I didn't want to go there, because that wasn't going to be beneficial to my loved ones. So I just did the reverse. I jumped right into whatever was going on then, as far as communicating with people, staying in touch, obviously trying to stay healthy. We were doing comedy shows on Zoom. I must have bombed about 15 times doing those shows. I never want that to ever come back again. But just being around folks and checking on folks and that positive vibe on social media and on the internet, that kept me going. And, my family being okay. So, yeah, as far as falling in any kind of depression or sadness, I didn't. I was sad, and I felt empathy and remorse, and for people passing. But no, I wasn't. I wouldn't allow myself to go there because I just had so many people in my life that we all could just watch and take care of and talk and chop it up. And
That's
you know
the
what?
key
Amir
word.
Silly made a good point too. Yeah, everybody's schedules change. Everybody's up late. Yeah, the team you was playing music and
No, the key word, you just said it. People. Like I would have been. I'm gonna tell you what would have happened to me, and it's funny. I only bring it up because I had an epiphany about maybe an hour and a half before we had to go on live, and I realized I got these two big ass pictures in my living room of my mother, right?
Right.
And I never really thought the grieving, but I know I'm not normal too, so it don't bother me. But I know the grieving wasn't normal for me. Meaning, a lot of people think that they take a certain amount of time, they grieve, and they feel better. That never worked for me. As far as Marduk goes, it's just to this day, it's been about 6-7 years, goddamn it, and to this day, it's just these moments where that shit take over your soul and you're overwhelmed and you find yourself in this real fucking crying, emotional state or what, out of nowhere, random as fuck. Sometimes it's a TV show, a movie, sometimes it's watching interactions of other family people in the streets or whatever. So it could come anyway. People is the key that kept us, and I know it saved me because all these outlets involve people. Like we can have all these same outlets, but if we know that there's nobody on the other side, people, it's not going to do the same for you. It did the same because we knew we had people on the other side. So when we got on here and Mirrors ain't lie, we had about 6-7 different variety of shows and kept you engaged from every angle from Sunday. And that was part of it. And then the other part of it was, my boys and, hey man, you know what? Fuck it. The weather's nice, man. It's warming up. We're coming by, man. Ain't shit open. We're gonna drink in the yard. We called it driveway drinking eventually, and that right there turned into something else. And it was almost, bro, like fuck what's going on in the world for a minute. Like we got each other. You know what I mean? We got each other. We break bread. And when I tell you, we just got more and more creative as the weeks went by. The next thing you know, when the shit was gone and the world supposedly back to normal, niggas was like, fuck the world, B. You can't do it right now. You can't do it this week. It's gonna be 90. I'm like, bro, I'm back to work. Everybody is like, because keep it real with you, like Amir said, time and days blended. So we was doing this shit on a Monday or Wednesday or Thursday. It didn't matter the day of the week. So then as things slowly open up, we find ourselves maybe a Sunday, everybody's off from work, maybe a sporadic Saturday, whatever. But at the end of the day, the word is people. I said this shit a gazillion times during the first year of the pandemic. It proved what I was saying for a long time. I've been saying my whole career, and people just look at me or whatever, anyway out there. I always said people need people. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck. And you know who learned it harder than me and you, Sean? See, guys like me and Sean, we still get our feet and hands dirty. We still go to the rooms in Brooklyn and Queens and Long Island and Jersey. We still working on a certain level, even though, talent plays the guard and he played this and that. Yeah, but talent still keep boots on the ground and want to keep his sword sharp, so to speak. So even in doing that, we those guys, right? So we had, when it slowly opened up, the first capabilities came to us. Me, you, our type, the DJs, the poets, all the people that could go out and get they reps in the smaller venues. The huge artists that wouldn't be caught dead in a small venue started starving.
Right.
Them niggas couldn't get out. They was like, yo, the fuck? And even when they did get out, you had to deal with all of these. So now, if you getting 20 grand, you ain't getting 20 grand because we can't put 20 grand worth of seats in it.
Yeah.
Now I need you to do it for 7.
Yeah.
And they had to because of that shit. So I was grateful with the grace of God At that time, never have I been so happy not to be the largest thing in the room.
Right. I
I was
hear
like,
you.
thank you for me being this mediocre nigga.
Yeah.
I'm gonna milk my mediocre. So guess what? Fast forward 3 years later, now all those people are trying to play catch up and get their ducks in a row. Now, mind you, we've been getting our shit in a row a year and a half, 2 years straight now.
Yeah.
They still just getting their feet planted. Now you're just starting to see the Taylor Swifts go on tour. The J-Lo working on tour, this one working on tour, New Edition's back out, blah, blah, blah. But those were the people, bro, that start. Speaking of New Edition, I put the crying baby in my story the other day. The crying little African kid that cried for 3 seconds and started. So
Yeah.
I put the meme up when you get kicked out of New Edition, but then you end up marrying Whitney Houston. So the nigga crying, then he started laughing right away, like nigga, I left the come up, but I didn't came up.
Yeah.
I left one come up and I didn't came up, nigga. So no, but I mean that stuff is real talk. See how the hour flew by. So that we done gave half our show energy to the other shit, but it needs to be said. These things need to be tapped on. We need our people to hear it, because if we don't pull the coattail, people just continue to do what they do, right, wrong, or indifferent. It takes some time for somebody to say something from outside your earlobe and go, "Oh, wait, what? I ain't looking at it like that." That's what I'm talking about. We got to start looking at it like that, whatever that is. It's your world, and then there's the world.
Right.
You have to be able to navigate between two if you want to come to that conclusion of other side of depression, other side of stress. And keep in mind, depression and stress eludes itself and makes its way to bigger problems medically.
Yes.
Medically. When you see motherfuckers with the shingles and all that shit, and that shit come from stress. Like all these type of things, that those flare-ups, the motherfuckers get stressed out, boom, flare that ass up. You know what I mean? So stress, depression, like Amir said, I'm glad that we came out on the other side where people have tapped into their other side of things that they're capable of doing. Okay, yeah, I work for this corporation, but that's not it. Now I'm gonna try this shit.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on my thumbs and twiddling and shit. I'm gonna try this shit. And for a lot of people, it's working. You know what I mean? Yeah. So kudos to you. If you're doing something, not just to be doing it because people are doing it, but you really wanted to do it, all the best to you. God bless you, and I hope it make it happen. I'm your boy Talent. This has been Motivation Monday with Amir Silly. My boy Sean Harvey sitting in with us today. Guys, great show. Once again. And we're looking forward to a great week. I'm sure I'm going to see y'all. We're going to throw them back and break bread.
Okay.
Shout out to our super producer. It's all good. Sean Harvey Morning Show. Tell him. Sorry about that, Sean.
Sean Harvey Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., 9 a.m. on all social media platforms. And I appreciate you guys. And actually, I'm definitely motivated now. I'm going to go clean the kitchen. A-Rock Silly is my man Amir. Follow him. Follow Talented Comedian. Peace to y'all. We love you, and nothing you can do about it. Let's go.
Yeah. It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark, 5